Hey, what's up, guys? It's Rocky Adams. I just wanted to talk about today how something's been coming up in calls. Um, a lot of times in the personal development world, you learn about human needs psychology and you learn about the human needs the way Tony teaches it. And you'll see a lot of people shaming significance. And a lot of people will shame ego as well. And significance is just, it's your inner it's your inner willingness to be worthy. You're looking for things that the two biggest overriding fears of people is the fear of not being good enough and the fear of not being worthy of love, not worthy of love and not getting love. So when people lie, they're just trying to feel important. And sometimes it's lies of omission, sometimes it's actual lies. Sometimes we lie to ourselves, guys. There are lots of things that where we lie to ourselves and we don't even notice it. I was lying to myself one time. I remember when I first started CrossFit. This was like I was taking a CrossFit class for a while. This was about maybe 2 years ago, and we think of ego in terms of look at me, but ego goes the other direction too. And it didn't occur to me. There was this guy, and he was really in his head all the time, and we can learn lessons from anybody. This dude was so in his head all the time. I could tell he wasn't good to his wife. The relationship that they had, honestly, they probably weren't good to each other. But they had a mat on the floor. It said, "Leave your ego at the door." And, I kind of took that to mean, a lot of times you go to gyms and there's like big hulked up guys. I used to be pretty one of those guys too myself. I was one of those egoic, muscled up dudes back in the day. But that's what I think of when I think of ego and leave your ego at the door. I was thinking of it from that standpoint. But what I didn't think of, I told this guy, a lot of you know and a lot of you don't, that I was in a motorcycle accident, and I got pretty unfit as a result of this accident. Sedentary lifestyle for a long time, recovery took forever, all this other stuff. But anyway, I told him, I said, man, this is the first time stepping back into a gym, and it honestly feels a little bit uncomfortable. Even putting on gym clothes doesn't feel right now with having the current physique that I had at that time anyway. And he pointed at the mat and he says, "Leave your ego at the door." I was like, oh, he's totally right. So ego can show up for you. It can show up against you. It's really important to be mindful of it. Lies of omission, like when you meet somebody, a lot of people, when they meet someone in a relationship, they want to put best foot forward. They want to sometimes tell lies of omission, sometimes tell stories that are actual lies to try to make themselves look better than their version of the truth. They think they're making it look better than the truth. Really, honestly, what people crave is vulnerability, and when you're vulnerable, you give other people permission to be vulnerable as well. I like to use the example of singing. When you see people go to karaoke and they just rip the lid off a can of whoop ass, it's like they give other people permission to do the same thing, and the whole crowd gets really emotive and sometimes goofy or whatever. They just get into it. If there are a whole bunch of people that are just pouring their heart into it, other people will be like, "Oh, did I sound good? Did I sound good? Did you have fun? Were you in your heart?" But being vulnerable and knowing where your significance is at. The more you feel significance internally, the less you'll need to seek it from outside sources. The more significance you feel, the more important you feel, the more you love yourself, the more worthy of love you feel yourself. You'll just be that. Instead of looking for validation from other people, you'll own it from inside of yourself. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today, guys. Hope you have a good night tonight, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow.